I remember there was a time when we was kings and queens, prophets and rulers, judging the earth. But now we stuck at the bottom of the totem pole. Where did we go wrong as a people? I think our people need to understand this with a wake-up call and give them understanding of what's going on. So bring it.
Early morning, rise up, open your eyes up, looking in the mirror, it gets no clearer. Cause we don't understand our own selves, drowning in sorrow with empty Hennessy bottles upon the shelf. Cause everybody wanna be a king, selling out their soul for this mean green cream thing. Paper chasing, but not facing the facts that as a nation, we all done got lax. Us, we in captivity because they hold.
We're here at 85 New Mexico 87102. If you're in the San Antonio area, you can catch us at 4219 Center Gate Street, and that's Albuquerque, New Mexico 78217. Where sisters are able to work out their individual issues every Sunday from. We kicked in what we could. Me and Priest Kazaki and Priest. Edit those classes and put them up on YouTube, so you'll see them over there under ISB HBK or Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. If you got any donations you want to give, you can send it to any of the school locations. If it's canned goods, clothes, cars, laptops, anything that'll help the educational process of your people, or some nice custom-made headbands. Where Israel WEAR on Facebook, and the sisters will make you some beautiful custom-made garments and work out a good price for you on there. Getting a lot of orders, so the prices are starting to go up based off of the availability and the amount of labor that's going in there. Looks like that's it. Cool. All right, so as usual, if you will leave the first hour of class open for questions. All right. Does anybody in class have any questions?
Yes, been studying.
Oh, okay, all right. That's one guy. So what y'all been studying over?
On the test. Yeah, I'm really reading over Deuteronomy. I've been doing the test also.
Oh, so you're okay.
Not a lot because I just didn't understanding what Moses is saying to, like he went into the law with Israel all the way until Deuteronomy 28 when they just started disobeying. So I was just getting how he was basically speaking to. He was saying that he didn't put us in our land because we was greater than them, but because like he was like removing their, like he'll tell us to destroy their gods, their altars, everything that they worship, and we will move our basically our land, or what we worship in our culture inside their land.
No, stand up. No comment.
But I just been understanding the whole Deuteronomy. It's dope, man. Just the way that he was talking about how he didn't put us inside of their land because of the fact that we was greater nation, a better people than them, but he was kind of destroying their gods and just removing all of their iniquities and the way they were worshiping other gods and putting us inside of their land and setting up our culture in a way he want us to worship him inside of their land. That's why he was moving them out. And I was like, oh. That's why I've basically been trying to show someone that the reason that these other nations are off and that we need to be over them, like as doing righteousness and governing their city, because the way they doing things are off. And the way we was doing things, the Most High want things when he looks down at us to be done, we was doing them, and he was putting us in our land. He's doing it like other people's land. That's dope. I love it.
Come. Yeah. Now, the reason we didn't get in the promised land at the first was not because he was just trying to show us something. We messed up. We had too many people murmuring, complaining. Moses had messed up at the waters of Meribah. He didn't speak to the rock. He struck the rock the second time. He was supposed to speak to it, and he struck it. And so that left all the people to just see him as if he was the Most High. That's why every time they got hungry, they complained to him. Every time they had a problem, they complained to him. Why he had to set up all them officers, because the people, they didn't want to worship the Most High. They didn't want to ask the Most High about nothing. They just went to Moses. They went to a man. So that kind of led all of Israel into that worship of a man. All right? And that's why when you get into Jude, it tells you that Michael and Satan was disputing over the body of Moses, because that was something, he messed up all of Israel on that. Just with that one little thing. You see that? That one little thing of just setting that bad example and not doing what the Most High told him, and not seeing the long run consequences that, damn, if I do this, this is going to happen. If I do this, they're going to be looking at me like I'm the Most High. You see that? Where the Most High has been constantly trying to establish and show them that it's not man. Don't trust in man. Trust in me. See that? We already had that problem trusting in Pharaoh and all the dumbass gods of Egypt. So when he brought us out, he didn't want us trusting in no man. Y'all see that? Anybody, any questions on any time? What's that?
Well, just thinking on that Deuteronomy, you know how they stay wandering in the wilderness until everyone in that generation dropped. You think that I might be reaching, but that those same souls were coming back as that next generation that was going into the promised land with Joseph and Caleb?
The ones that got killed?
Mm-hmm.
Nah. Nah, they didn't get to go. They didn't get to come back into the promised land in their incarnation. All right, they didn't come back until much later. All right, go to I think that's in Jude also. Let me see. Let's see. Now, not to say they never came back, because they did come back. All right. But when you read yeah, we'll start at Jude verse 3 and then read verse 4 also.
Jude, verse 3. Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that ye should earnestly contend.
Exhort you.
Exhort you.
Two different words. You don't want to mess that up.
Go ahead. Exhort you that ye should earnestly contend for the faith which was once delivered unto the saints.
Right. Go ahead.
4. For there are certain men crept in unawares, who were before of old ordained to this condemnation.
Go ahead.
Ungodly men, turning the grace of our God into lasciviousness, and denying the only God, the only Lord God, and our Lord Jesus Christ.
Right. So we got to put this in remembrance that this faith was once delivered to everyone. It was once delivered to all Israel. Right? But then there were certain men crept in unawares and was ungodly. What's that?
Because just like what you were saying, I just read that today on that Deuteronomy chapter 13. I had a question because it was talking about that dreamer of dreams, and I guess whoever this dreamer of dreams, he started making them forsake God and do like worship other gods. So those dreams was like a man's own opinion.
Yeah, you're talking about if there arise a prophet among you and he says he's a dreamer of dreams and all this. If what he says don't come to pass, then you were supposed to kill that man. You wasn't supposed to listen to him. All right. Let's see. So we're going from there. Yeah, read verse 5.
Verse 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterwards destroyed them that believed not.
See, so those ones that was in the wilderness, he destroyed them that didn't believe. Those ones that was murmuring and complaining and everything, he destroyed them that didn't believe. You see that?
Kind of.
All right. And but the thing is, did they reincarnate? Yeah, later on. They came back and they were the same ones murmuring, complaining against Samuel. We want a king like the other nations. Nah, but we want a king, right?
God.
Okay, these are that same spirit. How do you know? Because when you read down verse 8, it tells you, likewise also these filthy dreamers defile the flesh, despise dominion. So they despise Samuel's dominion. They despise the Most High's dominion, right? And speak evil of dignities. They spoke evil of Samuel. That's why he had to get out there and be like, who of y'all did I defraud? Who of y'all did I take anything from? Did I take anybody's horse? Did I take anybody's food? Did I take anybody's money? You see that?
God.
Because they was all speaking evil against the Most High and Samuel. All right? So that same spirit came back around. When you go to verse 16, it tells you these are murmurers, complainers, walking after their own lusts, and their mouth speaketh great swelling words, having men's persons in admiration because of advantage. That spirit is alive today. So some of those from back then, they're here now.
God.
But no, they didn't get to enjoy the promised land, man.
So you think those murmuring spirits, how they came back and they were murmuring again, that every cycle, they're condemning themselves. That spirit is condemning itself more and more, or do some of these spirits turn and get right?
Yeah, the spirit don't change. That spirit doesn't change. It gets in somebody. You understand? But the person can change, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, what's the difference between the spirit that's in us?
This is where we get to start talking about soul and spirit, like the scriptures say, right? Dividing asunder of soul and spirit. The soul, what they call the ego, whatever, that would be you, who you are, right? How you come back with certain mannerisms in third or fourth generation, you're gonna come back. One of your grandsons, great grandsons, gonna come back with your mannerisms, talk like you, act like you, maybe even look exactly like you, right? Roll in your same attitude, your same spirit, right? Now, you can get that person, that soul can get a spirit on him.
Okay.
You understand? He can get a vengeful spirit, a jealousy spirit, just like we all can, right? And at some point or another, we can all get some spirit on us where that we got to shake loose, because spirits are just thoughts. You see that? So that thought, that idea, that spirit, it jumps to anybody. They move like frogs. So from generation to generation, that spirit can get on anybody. But like Dathan and Korah, right? The people that rolled in their attitude, the ones that their spirit went to in their next generation and so on, they didn't get to enter the promised land. You see that? Right. So yeah, that's like I said. That's where you get in the difference. Why I see why the New Testament starts talking about the soul and the spirit, so that you can understand that you are different than the spirits that try to get on you at times.
Okay. So what we have in us is our soul.
Yeah, you got the Holy Spirit of the Most High. We don't use the word soul really, but I see why they had to use it in there, because you had to start differentiating, so to eliminate the confusion. But the spirit the Most High gave you that makes you Abayar is not the same as Cain's spirit, or the spirit Cain had on him. a lying spirit or a spirit.
Well, you said David and Korah, they didn't make it out of they didn't make it into the promised land.
No, those spirits got destroyed. It just said that.
So those spirits got destroyed. They didn't. The spirits themselves, the spirits didn't go back to the Most High.
How do I say it? All of your spirits go back to the Most High that created you, right?
Right.
Now, when they reincarnated, they didn't get to come back in the part like where we had just entered.
Yeah.
We're talking about when they came back, they were under rule. They were under kings or, a prophet or something. It was in Israel, but they weren't being able to go in with the first section of people that went in the promised land.
They were not.
Right. Generation,
Yeah.
and they were able to finally enter the promised land.
Yeah.
They weren't among that generation.
So where'd they go?
They came back later.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they will come
So
back
they
later.
came back, but they just didn't come back in the generation that actually entered in, because that would have been like the next generation.
Yeah, that would have been the free ones. When you read in the book of Judges, between Joshua and then King David coming to pass, right? You have Judges where it says every man did what was right in his own eyes. They didn't have no king over them. They didn't have they had a few prophets here and there, judges, but they didn't have no king. So every man did what was right in his own eyes. All right. So in that generation, they was free. They was basically doing what they felt was right. They was doing as best they could under the law of Moses, but you see a lot of them in Judges. You see some of them that became sodomites. Some of them that just went into lawlessness, right? So then you get into the time of the kings after that. And this is good because y'all get to learn that history pre-David, pre-Saul. You see that? And you get the timeline right. Because some people, you say Moses came after Noah, they glitch for a second. It's like, oh, wait, yeah, the flood, and then Moses, right? So we got to get the timeline right. We got to start working on we're going to be doing that in classes, but for the history, we got to get that timeline right so that it plays out like a story to be easily more remembered, right? Or more easily remembered. But yeah, when you're dealing with when it says that he destroyed them, yeah, he literally opened up the earth and swallowed them up, right? But did that spirit come back? Like that same spirit that was on them? Yeah. It came back through other people. Alright? But like specifically, could I tell you Dathan and Korah were never in Israel ever again? I can't say that because Jude tells you they're going to be here again. You see that? Like I said in verse 11, woe unto them, for they have gone in the way of Cain. So the spirit of Cain came back and ran greedily after the error of Balaam. So the spirit of Balaam came back even though they killed him. Or Joshua, when they took over the Moabites, when they whooped the Midianites and the Moabites, they killed Balaam. But that spirit came back. Then it said, for reward and perish in the gainsaying of Korah, Dathan and Korah. Those spirits can't come back. They're here now. They're here amongst camps today. Usually they're outside of camps talking a bunch of crap on Facebook, but you understand what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that question. So when you saying that spirit, as in, let's just say, as in if I had a murderous spirit, like I'm ready to, think badly, murder my brother, you could say that, right, you have the spirit of Cain on you right now. As in, that's what you're referring to as a spirit, like that way he rode at that time.
There you go. There you go. Just like when he told Peter, get thee behind me, Satan. Was Peter literally Satan?
Wow.
No, Peter was Peter, but he had a spirit on him. You see that?
God.
All right. Anybody else? Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if an individual that is an unbeliever, once was a believer, is an unbeliever, and they are dealing with a nation, can they, if they pray against that nation, does the Most High
like if they're like romantically involved with, like say I ran out and got an Edomite and then I just decided to pray to destroy Esau?
No, not like romantically, but if they're like have dealings, if they're like in a business arrangement, or if they were like partners or something like that, or if they're just like neighbors and they have this falling out, could the unbeliever that's now not a believer, could that believer, that unbeliever, would the Most High hear that person's prayers?
Well, here's the thing. That unbeliever, right, is that person any longer following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High? Are they still fearing the Most High? Or are they walking around like, I'm just going to call on him when it's convenient for me? I'm asking you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would assume they fear the Most High. I mean, I don't know if they fear the Most High. I would think they do. I mean, I don't know. If they stop believing in the Most High, does that mean they don't fear the Most High anymore?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because you know they would have to have some kind of belief in the Most High to still call on him.
Right. So
Right.
I think it's a little, in my opinion, not that it matters, it's a little contradictory, right? Like, how are you once a believer and then not a believer, but then want to call on the Most High or pray to the Most High to render judgment on someone when
He ain't doing that because, for one, that person's not serving the Most High themselves. So he's not a genie that just pops out when you rub the lamp. He comes to those that obey him, that are doing his will. He blesses those and he answers the prayers of those that are obeying his will. Go to Proverbs. We'll go to 15 verse 8.
Proverbs chapter 15 verse 8.
Go on.
Proverbs chapter 15 verse 8. The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord.
See that? When they do their sacrifices, when they doing Christmas and all that, when they halfway in, halfway out, all they sacrifice, whether it's sacrifice of praise, whether it's sacrifice of an animal, whatever, because they're wicked, it's an abomination to the Most High. You understand? Now, if they're calling on him so they can get themselves right, that's fine. But to call on him just because you want something, but you're not going to serve him, that's where you're going into a whole different ballgame. Go to James 4. Read where you're at and then hold James 4.
Time. But the prayer of the upright is his delight.
Y'all see that?
Done.
So read that again. Where you at?
Proverbs chapter 15 verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
The sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to the Lord.
Right. See that? Now check this out. Go to Proverbs 28 and 9. So the sacrifice of the wicked is an abomination to him. This is the one I was looking for. They go hand in hand though.
Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be abomination.
So I can't answer it more clearly than that, right? You turn your ear from the law, the Most High is looking at you like you're a pig. You praying, I ain't hearing you. So that's when you get into Proverbs chapter 1, right? Let's look at that. Read where you're at again.
Proverbs chapter 28 verse 9. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayers shall be abomination.
Right. See, his prayers are going to be an abomination. Now, this is what he said he's going to do this when they even start praying, when they start calling on him. That's not Proverbs 1. It's 3, right?
You say, well, I'm not here.
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, you started at 24. I mean, y'all know this one pretty well. You know how long you simple ones, where you love simplicity and fools hate knowledge. Scorners delight in their scorning, right? But we're gonna start at 24. Read that.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 24. Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded.
See, he called us. We refuse. We turn our back. We go off and we want to do our own thing. Okay, well, you refuse me. Go ahead.
But ye have said it not, all my counsel.
Right, you didn't listen to none of my counsel. You thought you treated it like it was garbage. Go ahead.
And with none of my reproof.
And you didn't want to have me reprove you. You didn't want to have me correct you. Go ahead.
I will also laugh at your calamities.
He's going to do what?
Laugh at your calamities.
When you get in trouble, he's going to help you.
Laugh at your calamities.
He's going to be sorrowful when you're in calamity.
Laugh at your calamities.
He's going to laugh at your calamity. When you're in the worst state that you could possibly be in, he's going to start laughing his ass off, man. Y'all see that?
Come.
All right, go ahead.
I will mock when your fear cometh.
He said, I'm going to mock when your fear cometh. When the things you was afraid was going to happen, I'm afraid I'm going to lose my job. But, well, then why would you turn your back on the Most High that gave you the job? Now, when you do lose a job and you start crying your head off and what am I going to do? And I got so many bills and I got so much debt. And I already filed bankruptcy 3 times. You know what I mean? He's just going to be up there laughing at you like, what you want me now? Every time I saved you, you didn't care. See?
Come.
Read.
When your fear cometh as desolation,
and
your destruction cometh as a whirlwind.
Right.
When distress and anguish cometh upon you.
Go ahead.
Then shall they call upon me.
When everybody's in trouble, that's when they want to call on the Most High, right?
Come.
He said, yeah, when you in trouble, that's when you going to call on me. What's he going to do?
But I will not answer.
He ain't going to answer you. Can't even hear you. He gonna be laughing too hard. Y'all see that? You know, some of the judgments I make, brothers be like, man, that's heartless. It's like, well, did you read the Bible? Because I love my people. Because we love our people, man. We be warning all day. Because yeah, the things the Most High do, sometimes it seem very heartless. But why is that? Why doesn't he have a heart towards you?
Because you don't want to listen to the discourse that he was trying to lay down earlier before you even got into that stage.
Go ahead.
He said if you want to reject, if you reject his knowledge, he's going to reject you.
You see me pointing to her?
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay, I was going to say it because we reject it.
Right.
We reject him. And we reject
You didn't have a heart toward him.
Right.
Why would he have a heart? Why would he care about you? You don't care about him. We strangers. I don't know you. Y'all see that? Why are you calling on me now? It's like when you get mad at a family member. Don't call me no more. I don't need to talk to you. I don't want to hear from you. I don't even want to see you. I don't want to smell your breath. Then you need some money and they the first one on your speed dial. They like, wait a minute. Oh, we talking now? Right? You started it. You cut off the communication. Same thing you're reading in Hosea 4 and 6, right? This is how we know how the Most High is going to deal with them, and it seems heartless, but who lost their heart first? We do. He said it. He stretches his hand forth all day long to us. He's always, hey, let me help you. Let me help you up. But hey, you swat my hand away, man. Well, I just see what happens then. You know? Don't you do that with kids, man? You like, here, let me help you up. No, I got it. Right? Yeah, like, okay. All right. We'll just sit back and see what happens then. When you fall flat on your face, all right, you ready now? You ready for some help? You see that?
Done.
See, he don't let you fall to damnation. That's the thing. He don't let you just, you're the one mistake and you're in destruction. You get that?
Done.
But when you stumble and you fall, he does laugh at you, man. When you end up in jail because he kept telling the brothers to tell you to stop smoking weed, and now you in jail and you hoping you don't drop the soap, he just like, when you gonna get it right, man? Y'all see that?
Done.
And then he intervened, he let you out, give you another chance. He's long suffering. He don't do it to your destruction. Okay, I'm gonna put you in jail, then this crazy dude's just gonna slit your throat and open you up all over the floor because what? Because you stumbled? But when you utterly reject him, like I already know what's coming, I already know what you're gonna say, I already know the scriptures. I don't want to do it no more. I ain't gonna do it no more. The most I gotta get somebody else. Oh, okay, well, he's gonna be laughing at your calamities, but when you call on him, he ain't hearing you. Y'all understand?
Done.
It got to be to the point where you're in the bitterness of your soul and your lowest point, and then you'll say, okay, you ready now? Now I'll bring you back. Now I'll have mercy on you. What's that?
I was just gonna ask, is that really prayer when people do that?
No, that's where we're going to James 4. Because it's not really prayer. It's I'm messed up, so now I want some help from anybody. You see that? And that's why when you go to James 4, he's going to explain that mind state to you. You can start at 4 and 5.
James chapter 4, verse 5.
Oh, you know what? Start at 1. I'm sorry.
Gone. James chapter 4, verse 1. From whence come wars and fightings among you? Come they not hence, not hence even of your lust that war in your members?
Right. So he's like, don't the wars and everything come from you wanting stuff from just to please your body? Go ahead.
Ye lust and have not.
Yeah, you desire these things. You got these uncontrollable urges to have these different things, right? With money, cars, sex, whatever, power. Read.
Ye kill and desire to have.
Right, you kill yourself, you kill others, you want to stomp on your own grandma to get whatever you're trying to lust after. And he said it cannot obtain. You can't get it. Read.
And cannot obtain. Ye have not, because ye ask not.
Right, because why? Because I don't turn my back on the Most High. I've been asking him no. I finally do state and take it over. I want to call on him. Right? That's when you get this. Read.
Ye ask.
That's when you decide you're going to ask. Right?
Gone.
That's what we do. Okay. Why?
Because ye ask amiss.
See, because you asking wrong. You didn't do it the right way. You don't want to come back. You don't actually want to come back to the Most High and be like Baruch 4:28, as it was in your mind to go astray from the Most High, so being returned, seek him 10 times more. Nah, you just like, I can't take anymore. Please help me. But you ain't trying to do the first works. You ain't trying to do what it said in Revelation 2 and 4. You're not going to come back and do the first works and remember your first love. No, I just want you to help me out of this situation because I'm uncomfortable. You see that? That's why you don't get it. That's why he said you ask and you receive not. Because you asking for the wrong way. You coming at me the wrong way. That's what it means when you ask amiss. You see that? You're going through the wrong channels, man. You're not trying to serve me. You haven't proved yourself and proved your love back to me. You just getting on your knees asking for something because you feel bad? Because of the hole you dug yourself in? Go ahead.
That ye receive, that ye may consume it upon your own lust.
See, you're still just trying to please the body. The body's uncomfortable. You're still trying to please your little mind state. My mind is uncomfortable in the situation I'm in. Ain't no atheists in jail. everybody to go in. You know what I mean? Especially if you're a first timer, they go in. Oh my God, I gotta pray. Can I get a Bible? Can I get a Quran? Can I get a Buddha? Can I whatever? They all find religion when they get in there. You see that? Why? Because they hoping some entity somewhere that let them get in that situation is going to get them out of that situation, because why? I'm not comfortable. But that ain't how it works. You put yourself in a position that you didn't decide to think far ahead and say, hey, is this going to get me in a situation where I'm going to be very uncomfortable? Am I going to have to sit on Leroy's lap? Tell him bedtime stories in Spanish with Kool-Aid on my lips? Did I think ahead before I picked up that joint? Before I went and did those drugs? Did I think ahead before I hit that woman? Did I think ahead before I got in that car and ran over my husband? No, I didn't think ahead. But now that I'm in the situation, now I want to reflect on the scriptures. Now I want to call on the Most High. Please don't let them get me. Nah, that ain't how you do it. That's a deathbed confession. That's a deathbed sorry. That's what in Romans are called the sorrow of the world. You see that? Because godly sorrow, find that one for me. It said godly sorrow, you don't go back and have to repent over it again. Because why? Because godly sorrow tells you, I don't want to do that no more. You see that? It ain't even in my mind to keep doing that. But what are we reading here in James? Is that these cats is doing this because they want to consume the relief. They want the relief to benefit their body again, to benefit their feelings, their own lusts. You see that? It's not a sincere prayer. What? What is it? 2 Corinthians what?
7 verse 10.
7 verse 10. Go ahead.
2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10.
Y'all got it? All right.
2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10. For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of.
See, if you had godly sorrow, it will work to your salvation. If that person was really sorry, they like I used to tell brothers when I was a young officer and everything, the brothers be, oh yeah, I'm sorry I did this and I'm sorry. I'm like, bro, why are you telling me? I'm not the Most High. I'm not that guy. You want to show me you're sorry? Prove it. Be here next time. Be here next class. Be here next time we need you. I mean, that's the way you show me you're sorry. That's the way you show the Most High. Faith without works is dead. I don't care if you believe. I don't care if you all of a sudden you sorry. Show it. If you sorry, stop doing it. If you sorry, start doing the work. But these type of people in James, these people are only asking because they're in an uncomfortable situation. They still have no intention of actually doing the work. Most High ain't hearing that. All right. Where you at?
2 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 10.
Read that.
For godly sorrow worketh repentance to salvation, not to be repented of.
See, not to be repented of. Not to, I'm gonna feel sorry that I said I was sorry. You see that? Or, damn, man, now they got me back under the yoke again. I wish I would have never came back. No, if you're sorrow in a godly fashion, you're in there until you die now. Because, man, I done seen it. I done seen the ass whooping the Most High got for me. I don't want no more of that. I'm running 180 degrees and 1,000 miles per hour. You understand? I'm not going to go back and try to do the same things and have to get back and repent again and again and again and again. No, I'm trying to go complete opposite now. And I'm damn sure saying sorry out of the sincerity of my heart. You see that? Where you at?
Second precept.
Go ahead.
But the sorrow of the world worketh death.
What does the sorrow of the world work?
But the sorrow of the world worketh death.
They gonna end up dead. It works death of the spirit. Why? Because the Most High is already laughing at them. They done made themselves enemies of the Most High. He's sitting over there like, nigga, really? The only reason you even got your hands raised right now is because you just want me to get you out the situation. You see that? That's the only reason. I seen it all day, man. You go in jail, man, and these cats are the spooky ones, and they scared and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I did mine. I said up my prayers and everything like that. When it was my first time in there, I did the same thing, but I've been praying before that. But I always know the Most High with me. These cats, you see them, they go in there, and all of a sudden they need, yeah, I need Jesus. Where's the chaplain at? Like, dude, you in here on a speeding ticket. You're going to be out tonight. What's wrong with you? But all of a sudden they need religion. Why? Because now they want to call on the Most High. It's too late for that now. You're getting the punishment now for all the stuff you didn't want to repent of. You got to go through that punishment. And hope the Most High. Look at David, right? When he was going to get his punishment for his, he was sorrowful and everything like that, but he knew the difference. When the Most High took that son and killed him, he went back and ate. Like, listen, while he was alive, there might have been something I could do about it. I could have, maybe the fasting, maybe the Most High heard my prayers, heard my supplications, and he would have took that from him.
Right.
But he gone now. What am I going to do? He ain't going to come back. You see that? So he went on about eating and drinking. But again, going back to the Most High with that sincere heart now. I've seen the way the Most High will deal. It ain't a game. Dude kills babies. Alright? So we gotta look at it like that. That the Most High, he had all the, as much as as great as his mercy is, so is his wrath. So you think all the people that's, oh, I got me a new job and money rained out of the sky, #blessed, right? On the other end, there's somebody over here talking about, damn, I wish I would have never did what I did because the Most High took my kid, took my wife, took my job, took this, you know what I mean? All the money came out of my pockets and flew into the sky. I heard some other nigga on Facebook got it. You understand?
Hashtag for real.
Right. There's things we gotta understand that, yeah, he's not gonna keep hearing the prayers of the wicked. He's not going to keep playing games with the wicked. That's why we always trying to warn brothers. You can't double dutch with the truth. You can't be sitting over here lukewarm, acting like you in there fighting and everything, and then the next minute, oh yeah, I'm out. Well, where were you? I just did what I felt like. Okay. We can't do nothing to you. All we can do is tell you. All we can do is show you revelations and show you that, listen, you keep messing around like that. He said when you're lukewarm, he's going to spew you out his mouth. I don't know if you know what that means. But that means he counts you as spittle. What do you spew out of your mouth? Right. So he counts you like you a Gentile. You see that? Esau, does he have a place of repentance? No, he sought it carefully with tears. You see that? He counts you like that. Why? Because you already done tasted of the heavenly gift. You already done partook, and now you're trying to cry on him when you uncomfortable? Nah, you gotta take that ass whooping. Then that should propel you in doing the first works and coming 10 times harder, and then he'll analyze your works. He know you believe now. He already knows you believe, but now he's gonna try your works now. You understand? All right, so hopefully you wrote down the little supplemental scriptures that was thrown in there, that Baruch 4:28 and stuff like that, because those are gonna add to that point. Do we need to go further into that, or anybody still got questions on that? Nah? Any other questions on any topic?
I had one because when I was cutting hair just now, I was cutting one of my clients.
All right.
He had asked me, because he been out of jail now for a while. Like when he was in there, tell them, so I'll make sure I'm gonna get the answer for y'all out tonight. When the scripture about that no one dies innocently, and the other one about can evil be done in the city? Go ahead and I did it.
Okay, so that's Amos 3 and 7, at 3 and 6. What you talking about? That second one. But you're gonna where Isaiah what?
45 and verse 7.
There you go.
You said Amos 3 and 6.
Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7.
Hang on.
Done.
Yes, 3 and 6. So read that.
Isaiah chapter 45 verse 7. I formed the light and created darkness.
This is the Most High speaking. He forms the light and he created darkness. Go ahead.
I make peace and create evil.
He did what?
I make peace and create evil.
Damn. He creates evil. You understand? Evil stuff happens. Some nigga goes and grabs somebody's baby and throws it in the microwave, puts it on high, and runs off. What happened to my son? Most High did that. Now you gotta sit there and ask yourself, why did Most High do this to me? Because for real, he did it to you. You understand? Now it ain't him himself. He got that left hand side, right? Like I said, you watch any mob movie, you watch any movie where the guy's even successful, even if he's so-called legit, right? He got that right hand side. Hey, file this paper, go talk to these people, make this acquisition, let's do this takeover over here. And then he got that left hand side, right? And y'all watching Power or Empire or any of them shows, right? You already know how this works, right? Then he go talk to that guy on his left side, he go whisper something, next thing you know, somebody end up floating in the river somewhere with a bullet in their head, right? And he's sitting there like, what? I was here the whole time. The Most High would do nothing. Y'all see that? He said he does what? Read that again.
Isaiah chapter
Come on.
45 verse 7. I formed the light and created darkness.
Right.
I make peace and created evil.
He said, I make peace and create evil. Go ahead.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
Who does all those things?
I, the Lord, do all these things.
The devil does it.
I, the Lord, do all these things.
He said the Most High does all these things. You see that? What was the other one? Amos 3 and 6. Then we're going to get Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39.
Verse 5. Verse 5 before.
Where you?
Isaiah 45 and 5.
Amos.
Oh, read Isaiah 45 and 5 again? I thought we just read it.
No, we started at 7. I forgot 5.
Isaiah chapter 45 verse 5. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God beside me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me.
What?
Verse 6. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none beside me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
Right. Yeah, you good on just that verse 7.
Wow.
All right. Go to Amos 3 and 6.
Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. Come when you have it.
Come.
Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and the Lord had not done it?
Wait, and the devil did it?
And the Lord had not done it.
The damn white man did it.
The Lord had not done it.
Y'all see that, right?
Come.
And the wicked are his sword, so when he uses the white man to do it, when you blame it on the white man, guess what? The Most High sent him. The Most High swung them at you. What's that?
Do you want me to grab 1 Samuel 2, 6 through 9?
Yeah, hold that. Get that was Amos 3:6, right?
Deuteronomy 32.
So Deuteronomy 32 verse 39.
Deuteronomy chapter 32 verse 39.
Good.
God, see now that I, even I, am He, and there is no God beside me, no God with me. Salah. I kill and I make alive.
The Most High does what?
I kill and I make alive.
What did the Most High do?
I kill and I make alive.
It ain't nobody else did it. That's what he's trying to show you. Whenever somebody kills somebody, that was me. Y'all see that? You take credit for all of that. I kill and I make alive. Happy birthday, you just had a baby. Yeah, woo, that was me. Right? Oh, you at the funeral pouring out some liquor? That was me too. Y'all see that? It ain't nobody else. What's that?
Can I piggyback off of that one?
Let me go where he's going, hold where you're at. Alright, you finish that?
I wound and I heal.
I wound and I heal. If you stub your toe, Barakatah Yahweh. You understand? Whatever, if you cut yourself, you got a paper cut, the Most High was there. The Most High is checking you. The Most High is trying to show you even down to that little detail. Anything short of you getting split open in half is the Most High checking you. And then when he does kill you, that's still him, but your correction days are over. Ain't no learning past that. Alright? You finish that?
Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
And when your ticket's up, can't nobody save you. This ain't Final Destination. You're not gonna get to switch seats. If y'all says that movie. Alright? This ain't Final Destination where somebody's gonna have the gift and they're gonna be able to see it coming and move you out the way. No, you gonna get it. Alright? There is none that can deliver out of my hand. Where were you going? First Samuel?
I was going to go to Job. Oh, 1 Samuel 2, verse 6.
Let's go there. Let's go there.
First Samuel 2, verse 6.
There you go. Perfect. So these are all good precepts, man. Y'all wanna link all these together.
1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 6. The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
The Most High doeth what?
The Lord killeth and maketh alive.
Well, there you go. Go ahead.
He bringeth down to the grave.
Bring you all the way down to the grave. Go ahead.
And bringeth up.
And he's responsible for the resurrections. Y'all see that? Yeah, I died for 5 minutes, man. They said I was clinically dead for 5 minutes, but I'm still here. Thank you, Jesus. Right? And when you don't get to say it, when you just dead, that was him too. Alright?
Verse 7.
Huh?
Verse 7. Verse 7 down to 9. But that's overkill.
I'm dealing with his topic. I mean, all that's good, you know what I mean? It adds to it, but just so he'd be able to show these people conclusively that the Most High does these things. There ain't no place in the Bible where you seen that somebody died and it wasn't the Most High having something to do with it. Hey, where you at, Lockerot? Oh, you finished that, right?
Oh yeah, verse 6.
Yeah, good one.
Man, Job chapter 14, verse 5.
Job 14 and 5? Let's get that.
Job chapter 14, verse 5.
Time.
It says, seeing his days are determined, the number of his months are with thee. Thou hast appointed his bounds that he cannot pass. So the Most High makes those bounds. The Most High makes those bounds. That's it for you. You can't pass it. You're pretty much going to pass it when you jump to verse 16. It says, for now thou numberest my steps. Dost thou not watch over my sin? So the Most High makes that number to the steps that you're going to take during your life. Once you max those steps out, that's it. You're pretty much done. Can I get one more too?
Huh?
Can I get one more?
What's that?
It's Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself.
Mm-hmm.
Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
Right.
So yeah, the Most High has it all planned out.
Yeah, that evil day he's talking about is when Esau ends the world. When Esau brings about the end of the world, at the end of this age, when they start all these World War III and everybody wants to thermonuke each other. All right. He reserved the wicked. He lets Esau stay on this planet just for that purpose, just to bring about that evil day. Y'all see that? What's that?
What about the scriptures in Revelation that talk about him being like the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, he's everything. So that would mean he would be the creator of any and everything, being that he is.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, that's like the beginning and the end right there. It starts, ends right there.
Come. So, thank y'all, brothers and sisters. Did that answer your question? Or answer your question out?
Yeah, I just needed the scriptures to back it up. I had a few, but I didn't have them all. And the precept to go with it. So
Come.
further edification.
Yeah, there's more. There's definitely more. What's that?
I was going to say, can I throw this last one in there?
What's that?
It's Proverbs 21 and 18.
What was that last one you did?
Oh, that was Proverbs 16 and 4. Hold on, was it?
16:4.
And this last one is Proverbs chapter 21, verse 18. And it says, the wicked shall be a ransom for the righteous, and the transgressor for the upright. So the wicked, they take the place of that punishment. Whatever form of punishment that punishment may come in, whether it's jail, some form of bodily harm, death, the wicked takes that place for the righteous.
Right. So y'all got that, right? All right. Any other questions?
Live.
All right. Let's see if we got anything online. Oh, we got a few online. At least we got something online. Let me see. 2nd Ezra 1 verse 31. When you offer unto me, I will turn my face from you.
Say 7 and 1.
1 verse 31.
Yeah.
I can't tell if this person's at. It doesn't look like they're asking a question. Nah, he's not answering a question. He wants to teach, but not actually go through the steps and the training that it takes to be a teacher. So I'm gonna go ahead and refer you, Mr. Righteousness. If you want it, the scriptures say, "He that doeth righteousness is righteous." All right. So if you want to call yourself righteousness, do righteousness. The scriptures say, "Become not many masters, knowing that we shall receive the greater condemnation." All right. So you gotta understand that if you want to be a teacher, do it the right way. Go through the steps. Go through the training. Come in, be a part of the soldier program. Come up, become an officer, and then you can become a teacher someday. All right? Drink your milk, get your nourishment from the scriptures, and do it the right way. Don't just come up on somebody else's channel and start blabbering whatever you think is in your brain. The Levitical priesthood, yes, the Levitical priesthood was done away with because now we got Christ. All right? But does that mean we're not to do the ceremonial laws? Absolutely not. Now, if you were actually asking a question, I would deal with this on a question level. But since you're not, and you want to decide you want to teach and sway the minds of people that are not following you, then we're going to deal with you a little more harshly. Which means if you keep coming on there trying to teach and you're not a teacher, if you're not been a prescribed elder, if I haven't never heard of you in the streets, If I go ask Barnabas, Mashaba, Kazakia, High Priest Yeshaya, if I ask them if they ever heard of you and they ain't never heard of you, then you ain't gonna get no play on this channel, man. You gonna get blocked. Alright? Do you all have any videos on the English language and the sorcery behind it? We do have videos on the demonic possession thing. So far as the English language and the sorcery behind it, no, there is no sorcery behind the English language. I'm going to tell you why. Because every language on the earth comes from Hebrew. Alright? So give me the scripture, the Most High Man made man to be upright. We got to understand these things. We got to understand that the way the Most High set everything up, he didn't set everything up in wickedness. Alright? And we did this on another show, What Egyptology Doesn't Want You to Know, where we traced back and showed you that a lot of these different languages and things, they all come from Hebrew. If I want to call a cab on the corner, I'm calling a marakab, which is chariot in Hebrew. Alright? In English, you're calling a cab. Have you ever looked up and decided to look and see what that word means, where it derived from? Most of us don't. You see that? Why not? Because this is the language we've been given. We never studied it, but no, it's not a sorcery language. Now, sorcerers are going to use it for wickedness. You see that? Just like you got the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is them trying to speak Hebrew and act like they doing some mystical spells and conjuring demons on you and everything like that. And they trying to take the pure language and turn it into that. Give me Zephaniah 3 and 9. Where you at?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 13.
So we have Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 13.
Verse 12. Verse 12 on down.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29.
No. Yeah. What you got? Give me that.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 29.
Lo this.
Yeah, lo this only have I found, that God has made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
That's what I want right there. The Most High made man to be upright. He gave us a pure language, which he's going to return to us, as we're going to read in Zephaniah 3, verse 9. Alright? He made man to be upright, but what happened? We sought out many devices. You see that? Where are we at again? Ecclesiastes what?
7 verse 29.
Go ahead. Read it again.
Lo, this only have I found, that God hath made man upright.
Everything the Most High gave us, he made us to make us upright. He gave us to make us upright, to do the right thing with it. Alright? But it said, we did what?
But they sought out many inventions.
Right, but man went and sought out many inventions. We decided we was going to try and make it something it didn't have to be. That we was going to make it something that was wicked. He give us a brain and tell us, hey, listen, you can split the atom, and what the hell we do? We go teach the white man how to make the atom bomb. Yeah, y'all thought it was Oppenheimer, if y'all studied that far, but when you study, man, they always want to tell you in school it was Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project and all this stuff like that, but it was a black man teaching Oppenheimer how to make the damn atom bomb. He made us to be upright, and we sought out many devices. Y'all see that?
God.
Read was that it on there?
Yeah, God.
Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, 39 verse 25.
Ecclesiastes chapter 39 verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning.
Wait, read it again.
For the good are good things created from the beginning.
Right, for the good are good things created from the beginning. Y'all see that? So when he gave us from the beginning, he gave the good things, including a language. Y'all see that? Okay, so for the good are good things created from the beginning. Go ahead.
So evil things for sinners.
And for sinners, evil things was created for them. Y'all see that? When we sinned, when they try to build that tower up to Babel, Tower of Babel, and try to build up into heaven, they sinned, He said, okay, now I'm going to give you evil things. Now you're going to get an evil language. You're going to get evil languages. They all going to derive from something good, but they're going to be evil to you. It's going to cause confusion and chaos. Y'all see that?
God.
Now remember, who created that evil?
The Lord.
There you go. That's another one. Show you. So evil things are created for sinners. See that? Most High does that. All right. So he goes on in verse 26. Read that.
Verse 26, the principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil, and clothing.
See, so he's showing you all these elements, man. All these things that come from nature that he gave to us. Go ahead.
All these things are for good to the godly.
All these things are for good to the godly. Go ahead.
So to the sinners, they are turned into evil.
Well, to the sinners, they turn them into evil. The sinners turn that into evil, man. I don't want to do what the Most High said do with it. What do I want to do? I want to stick it in the orifice. Yeah, I know a baseball bat is to have fun and play a game and entertain people, but I want to stick it in the over the head. I want to go down the street busting mailbox, breaking down windows in stores. They turn it into wicked. They can only think. Yeah. When you look at the English, they call it the English alphabet, right? First of all, you get English from England, angel land. That was established by us. All right. So when you're speaking English, you're speaking angelish. All right. You're really speaking a derivative of our language. All right. The word harem comes from the Hebrew word haramwan, which is the same word. It means harem. It means you got a whole bunch of women. You don't see that? When you say there's the alphabet, right? You got the English alphabet. Alpha, beta, that's what it is. It goes back deriving from the Greek, which they took from Aleph Bet, which was the Assyrian Hebrew for Alap Bayath, which was the cattle, right? The cattle head in the house. So it's the house of the house of cattle, or the house of the heads. You see that? Your alphabet. That's what you're dealing with. You're dealing with everything that's been derived from Hebrew. All right. What's that?
I was gonna say it's like lad too. Like lad is a little child.
Yeah.
Some people be like little lad. That's my
right.
lad or whatever.
Right. In Hebrew, yalad.
Yeah.
Right. Lad for boy, or yalad is boy in Hebrew. What do they call you in Scotland? Lad. Hey, laddie. Right. Okay. Now when you get into English, you're from Hebrew. All right. There's nothing. What you're speaking today is a mutt language derived from Hebrew. When you go to Japan, yeah, I got videos of the Japanese dude. He's sitting there showing people how. Listen, this Japanese character right here is the same as Chinese, same letter in Hebrew, and it means the same thing. Y'all see that? All these languages on the earth. If you speak in Arabic, and you know what they say for no law or la. They say la, right? It's la'a in Hebrew. When you get the white people that took over our nationality and they're speaking Assyrian Hebrew and they la'a. Pronounce it right. Open your mouth. Stop forming it like you try to put something in there. Y'all see that? All these languages derive from us. That's why the Most High said this. Read Zephaniah 3 and 9.
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 9. For then I will turn the people a pure language.
See, he's going to return to the people a pure language. Let me see. All right, how it's used for evil. That's why he's going to do this. Let's see. Let me get the beginning of the question, because this guy, righteousness, want to be a real unrighteous over here. Let's see. Do you have any videos on English language and the sorcery behind it? Right, and again, the sorcery behind the English language is the same as the sorcery behind the Hebrew language. All right, because they derive from the same thing. It was given to us good, and people want to try to use it for witchcraft and do all these evil things with it. All right, so it's going to derive from the same place. All right, if you want to deal in the reading into the Kabbalah and all that stuff like that, and then you find out, okay, they was using the language of creation to try to put hexes and spells and curses and all this on people. All right, but yeah, we don't have like a video on it that I know of. Maybe we should do one, but know this. Read that again. Zephaniah 3 and 9.
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 9. But then I will turn the people a pure language.
Go ahead.
That they may all call upon the name of the Lord to serve him with one consent.
See, no matter what kind of sorcery, what kind of wicked spin they try to put on every language, what kind of false doctrines they try to put on every language, and try to make it all mystical and evil and everything like that, everyone is going to come back to speaking the Hebrew. Y'all see that? That's what he's going to return to the people. You ain't going to be in Israel having to learn the Edomite language so you can make sure the Edomites bring you your tribute. No, the Edomites going to have to learn Hebrew. We're going to be like how America does, man. You're in America, learn American. What the hell language is that? We're going to be like that, right? You in Israel now. Speak like an Israelite. Speak Hebrew. Y'all see that? But that means ain't going to be no Mexican speaking Spanish. That's not your language. Ain't going to be no Colombian speaking Spanish. That's not your language. Ain't going to be no Benjamin speaking patois or whatever. That ain't your language. All right? Your language is Hebrew, and he's going to return that to you. Let's see. Could you explain, please, the wearing of the clothing 100%? You got to clear that question up, Gail. I mean, you had the whole class ready, right? The wearing of the clothing, the garments?
Yeah.
She's asking, could you explain the wearing of clothing 100%, the material? Oh, I'm not understanding, like, what material are we supposed to make our clothing out of, or?
The mixing of the fabrics.
That's what I'm trying to find out. If you could clear that up for me, Gail, then we'll go ahead and we'll answer that, no problem. I just need to know exactly what you're asking. Any other questions on that point or any other point? Go ahead.
That's not a question, it's just a statement. Like when you're going over the language, how everyone's going to have to know Hebrew. Like how they want everyone to know American here in the States. And I started thinking about like how in those movies, like the sci-fi movies or shows, no matter where you go in the universe,
the Americans, whatever. All right. Well, yeah, Gail, if you could clear that up. You know, somebody give me
what's the question?
The question is it wrong to heat food on the Sabbath? So the first thing we want to do, heat up food, yeah. So we're gonna go to Leviticus chapter 23, but hold that. Because we gotta understand what the nature of the question is, alright? It should be in the same place, man. No, we're going to Exodus chapter 35. You're going to start at verse 1.
Exodus chapter 35 and verse 1. And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together and said unto them.
So the question is, can we heat up food on the Sabbath? All right, so we're going to go into the nature of the question. Where is this coming from? We're going to Exodus chapter 35. We're reading verse 1. The Most High told Moses what to tell the people. Go ahead.
These are the words which the Lord had commanded, that ye should do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the 7th day there shall be to you an holy rest, a holy day,
right?
A Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death.
Okay.
Ye shall kindle no fire.
So whoever did work on the Sabbath day, you was put to death. All right.
All right.
Read.
Ye shall kindle no fire.
You shall kindle no fire. Now, if I stop right there, because I'm a legalistic Torah man, right? If I stop right there, I'm kindling absolutely nothing that creates heat. No fire.
Okay.
No body heat. That little spark Solomon said was in my heart, in Wisdom of Solomon. That got to go out. Right? No fire. If you do like the Jewish, you can't put your keys in the ignition of your car. You walk everywhere. Why? Because
combustion. Heat.
You can't start that fire. No sparks. Right?
No light switch.
There you go. Right? No light switches. You got to sit in utter darkness. All right? The little dendrites and the neurons that fire across your dendrites in your brain from nerve to nerve, that got all shut down. Those are sparks. Like I said, we can get legalistic with it, but we sound stupid, right? So we got to have the understanding that the Most High should have given all of us, all right, and get what He's saying. All right, so you finish that?
Live.
Go ahead.
Throughout your habitations upon the Sabbath day.
Uh-huh.
That was it. The end of that verse.
What verse was that?
That was the end of 3.
Right, so you didn't have no fire throughout your habitations on the Sabbath day, right? So that was the command. Now, here's where it got carried out. It is the command. I'll say it like that. Numbers 15. Verse 32. So he was serious with this. He still is.
Numbers chapter 15 and verse 32. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day.
Okay, now when the children of Israel was in the wilderness, that's when they got these commandments. Don't kindle no fire on the Sabbath day, right? So when they were in the wilderness, they found a man on the Sabbath day gathering sticks. Go ahead.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation.
So this was clearly not a Levite priest, because they had to bring him to Aaron. All right? Go ahead. Now that's going to come to bear, so just keep that in mind. Go ahead.
And they that found him gathering sticks brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. And they put him inward.
They put him in ward. They put him in a prison. Go ahead.
Because it was not declared what should be done to him.
Because the only law that was dropped was you don't kindle no fire on the Sabbath. So they was like, well, what do we do with him? He was gathering sticks. He had intent to start a fire. Right? Go ahead.
And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall be surely put to death.
He shall what?
Surely be put to death.
Damn. Go ahead.
All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. And all the congregation brought him without the camp, and stoned him with stones. And he died, as the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children.
Right. So all the congregation killed this man for gathering sticks on the Sabbath day. Now we're going to find out why. Get Leviticus chapter 23. We're going to start at verse 1. See, Psalms 119 verse 147, 119 and 9, through that precept second. think it's 119 verse 47 or something like that. He said, through thy precepts I get understanding. So we got to go precept on precept and find out the mind of the Most High on this. Why he told this man not to gather no sticks on the Sabbath, and he know damn good and well all the Levites is in there sacrificing. They burning up sacrifices in there. They done kindle fire to light the incense. They got the whole place going in there. They got torches. They have no electricity. They got torches and everything lighting up the place. So, just like Christ said, the priests, they always profane the Sabbath. They always got fire going. They always doing sacrifices day and night, forever, continually. Right? So now I got to get the understanding through the precepts. Psalms 119 and 104, right? Through thy precepts I get understanding. So let's read Leviticus 23. All right. Where we at?
Yeah. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations. Speak. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, concerning the feast of the Lord.
The what of the Lord?
The feast of the Lord.
Okay, all right. Now let's pause right there. I'm having a feast. Cold food everywhere. That's how we doing it? Who the hell want to eat cold food at a feast, man? That's not a feast. That's appetizers. That's, would you like an hors d'oeuvre, right? I got cold food everywhere. I got celery. I got cold deli slices, right? You're having appetizers, bro. That's brunch. All right, you're not having a feast. Y'all see that? He said these are his feasts. Read on.
Which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations.
Right, these are holy convocations. Somebody look up the word convocation for me real quick. So these are the feasts of the Lord. These are my holy convocations. Read.
Even these are my feasts.
Even these are my feasts. Is there, what kind of punctuation follows that word feasts?
Period. Statement.
All right, so he's stopping there, and then he's going to go ahead and show you what his feasts are. All right? What's that?
6 days shall work be done. But the 7th day.
The very first thing he starts out with is what?
The Sabbath.
The Sabbath. 6 days shall work be done, but that 7th day is what?
The Sabbath of rest.
The Sabbath to rest. What the hell you doing gathering sticks when you supposed to be resting? Y'all see that? If I'm gathering sticks, that means I didn't have a fire going. I didn't even think ahead for that. If I'm gathering sticks, I'm not at the feast. If I'm gathering sticks, I'm not part of the holy convocation. I'm outside sweating and being unclean, and I'm not remembering the Sabbath day to keep it holy, which means clean. Y'all see that? Well, right? That's what Exodus 20 says, right? Remember the Sabbath day, keep it holy, the 4th commandment.
28.
Right? 20 verse 8, right? Okay, so keep it holy. I'm not doing that if I'm outside sweating, gathering sticks, cutting myself up, bleeding. I'm unclean until the evening. So what the hell am I doing out there? I'm not part of the gathering. I'm not hearing the scriptures. I'm not hearing the commands of the Most High. Because I'm not in the tabernacle. I'm not in the holy convocation. I'm not part of the feast. That's why the man got put to death. He did worse than what Esau did. You understand? Esau said, you know what good's his birthright gonna do me if I starve to death? Let me at least get this uncooked food, right? Little more understandable than let me sell out my birthright for some sticks. Let me not do what the Most High said because I need sticks. Come on, man. Then it said they saw him gathering sticks. That means he's gathering the kindling. I'm trying to go get something started. I ain't gathering branches just so I can make sure the fire that I started yesterday can keep going. No, I ain't even started mine yet. And who am I cooking for? Who am I starting this fire for? Congregations over there. Right? What's trying to be done on this day? That I'm over here gathering sticks. What am I trying to do? I got me a little honey in the tent, and we're gonna bang one out in front of the fire on the Sabbath. You got to think of why the Most High is going to put a man to death for gathering sticks, man. It's all right there, though. It tells you it was supposed to be a holy convocation. He was supposed to have his ass amongst the congregation. Give me Hebrews 10, verse 25. Hold that.
Convocation.
Give me the definition of convocation.
Hebrews.
Stay where you're at. We're going to read Hebrews 10, 25 in a second.
Convocation in the Bible dictionary. A convocation was a religious festival during which no work could be done. The holy convocations were the Sabbath days, Leviticus 23, 1 through 3.
Actual dictionary. I just need the definition of the word convocation.
Convocation. An assembly of persons called together to a meeting.
What?
An assembly of persons called together to a meeting.
What am I doing gathering sticks when the Most High ordered me to be doing what?
An assembly of persons gathered together to a meeting.
To get in the meeting. Get in the meeting with Israel. Why are you outside gathering sticks when there's a meeting going on? What happens if you do it at work?
Termination.
You fired. Right? You was outside trying to get a donut while we was having the meeting. You fired. Just for something so simple as a donut, right? You was out calling your mama because your brother died. We had a business meeting. You fired. Unless you can show me some proof that your mama dead. You fired, right? Now, you gonna deal with the Most High like that? He gonna use you as an example. The hell you doing outside? You gathering sticks, bro? I told you to have the meeting. Y'all see that? A holy meeting. You outside being unclean, sweating in the dirt with sticks. Now, read where you're at. Leviticus.
Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 3. Third precept. And holy convocation.
It's a holy convocation. This is a holy meeting of persons. A holy gathering of persons. Y'all see that? Alright, read on.
Ye shall do no work therein.
Alright, hold that. Give me Hebrews 10 verse 25.
Hebrews chapter 10.
So we can get the understanding. Read that.
Hebrews chapter 10 verse 25. Get a con when y'all get it.
Con.
Hebrews chapter 10 verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another.
Ooh, what are we not supposed to do?
Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves.
I'm not supposed to forsake the assembling of ourselves, the convocation of ourselves, to go pick up sticks outside. Them damn sticks can wait. You see that? See, again, put yourself in the place. Okay, if the priests if fire is lit in the tabernacle, all the people came and gathered to the tabernacle. There's torches all around in the tabernacle. There's incense being lit in the tabernacle. What is this guy doing? He doing his own thing, man. He gathering sticks. But for what? For his own fire. For so I can forsake the assembling of myself together and be warm in my own tent. Y'all see that? That's why he said that. Read it again.
Verse 25. Not forsaking the assembling of ourselves together, as the manner of some is.
As the manner of this man was, that we just read about in Exodus. His manner was to go ahead and go out there and collect sticks while the congregation was having a holy convocation. Go ahead.
But exhorting one another.
But doing what?
exhorting one another.
Well, how am I going to exhort one another if it's just me out here? Who's going to exhort me? Who am I going to exhort?
Right.
See that?
Done.
You supposed to you setting a bad example, man. Now everybody gonna think they get to go gather sticks when they supposed to have a meeting. So you fired. Y'all see that? We're gonna beat you to death with rocks until you die. Y'all see that? You finish that?
And so much the more as ye see the day approaching.
And as you see the day approaching, the wicked days approaching, you're supposed to be gathered together more. Right? Not out doing your own damn thing. I'm not out trying to gather sticks, man. I'm not trying to do something I can put off till another day. Nigga, you ain't freezing to death. If you was freezing to death, all of Israel got all that body heat in the tabernacle. All of Israel is over there with that big giant flame and them priests throwing bullocks and lambs and everything. You gonna catch some heat. I don't know if any of y'all been around a barbecue pit, but if what the priests did was they had to walk up a ramp to throw the things on the fire. So it was a big ass fire. You get a little barbecue pit, brothers be, whoa, almost burn my eyebrows off. You know what I mean? These cats had a damn pyre they had to walk up a ramp to. You was gonna catch some heat. The hell you need sticks for? You gotta think about it. Just like we gotta think around, you know, how Lot's wife, what she was looking back for. We gotta now think, what was this man trying to get started? The Most High said, hit this man with rocks until he's dead. On the Sabbath. He said, listen, the whole holy convocation, put the brakes on that. Everybody pick up a rock and beat this man to death. Today, on the Sabbath. See, this is the stuff that the legalist cats, because they want to come out from under whatever authority they was under, they don't want to give you the understanding of certain things. All right? If you can help it, if you can help it, you are going to make sure you don't do these things that the Most High did not say or said not to do. All right? If you get caught out somewhere, like we're in the land of our captivity, if you get caught and then hey, you got to work today. Okay, well, what's my job? I'm shoveling coal. I'm in a train shoveling coal into the furnace or whatever weird old school thing they got you doing, right? You're a welder. Well, I'm sorry, I can't weld today. Look, I'll put the bars together, but my torch can't go on because it's the Sabbath. That's you don't have that authority. You gave it up when you sinned the first time. You understand? You gave up that. Now, he said it's a Sabbath of rest. Then in Micah 2:10, what did he say? Somebody get it. Because we just read it's the Sabbath of rest, right? But Micah 2:10, when we got into our captivities, what did he tell us then?
Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise, ye, and depart. For this is not your rest.
This is what?
Not your rest.
This is your Shabbat.
Not your rest.
This is not your rest. This is not your Shabbat. You don't get that. You understand?
God.
You get St. John 5:17. My Father worketh hitherto, so I work. That's what you get. You understand? No, brother, the Most High rested on the Sabbath day when his work was finished. You better read that Genesis again. Get your ass out there and go pass out flyers. Get your ass on that podium and go teach your people. This ain't our rest, man. Right. We messed up right now. You can sit over there on your ass on the Sabbath all you want and keep the lights off and do all that. But what about the guy that's lighting a spark under his crack lighter on that day and you ain't teaching him? When does Leviticus 19 verse 17 come into play where I shall not hate my brother in my heart. I shall in any wise rebuke my neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. oh, it's the Sabbath, I don't do that. I don't obey Leviticus 19:17 because Numbers 23 told me not to do no work on the Sabbath. You gonna break the law to keep the law? We can go law for law. This is easy for me. We can do this. If you mess with the letter of the law without the understanding, you are screwed. Alright? If you don't get the proper understanding, if you don't look at the hows and the whys and the whats of the situation, if you don't read the scriptures, you're screwed. Because the law is going to kill you. Scripture says that. Alright? It will kill you. Why? Because the letter of the law killed all of Israel, man. The letter of the law got that man killed. Y'all see that? What's that?
Can I throw Deuteronomy 12:9?
What's that?
It says, "For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you."
Perfect. Read that again.
Deuteronomy chapter 12, verse 9. "For ye are not as yet come to the rest and to the inheritance which the Lord your God giveth you."
Now that was when we were in the wilderness. We hadn't made it to the promised land, to Israel yet, to celebrate the Sabbaths in our land the right way. So what did he say? This ain't your rest either. Before we got into the promised land. Y'all see that? That's why he told the congregation, okay, we were supposed to have a holy convocation, but now we're going to have an execution. Y'all see that? We used to do this all the time when we first came, right? When I first got the truth, we'd have picnics, right? Then some sister would be talking about how her man was sliding ice down her butt cheeks in the shower and everything, and then, okay. We was sitting around eating hot dogs playing Frisbee. But now we got a council. Why? Because somebody don't want to keep the holiness of what we're doing. They don't want to keep the convocation holy. Y'all see that?
God.
Yeah, Johanna?
Yeah, I was just thinking, was the balance of that what Christ said about, rescuing your ox on the Sabbath, when you do that?
Yep.
And so if we are his children,
No, excuse me. The balance of that was not Christ bringing out a person pulling their ass out of the hole on the Sabbath day. That wasn't the balance. That was the hypocrisy he was showing them that they dwelt in. Because all y'all niggas go out there and make sure if your car get a flat, you put some air in that tire if you on the road on the Sabbath day. All y'all, if your mama fall down the stairs, not mama, I'm picking her up on the Sabbath day. You ain't gonna leave her at the bottom of the staircase. You understand? Every one of us is going to be doing that. But he was pointing out their hypocrisy. But yeah, the balance did come when he said that my Father worketh hitherto, so I work. Is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath or do evil? To save life or to take, right? That's where the balance came in. When he said about the ass falling in the hole, he was bringing out their hypocrisy. Because that's stuff they were currently doing while they were sitting there talking about, oh, you over there healing on the Sabbath. You see that?
because that's where I was thinking, we're going to be more important than the ox,
Right.
Why wouldn't we, do that? Rescue a person on the Sabbath.
Exactly. But see, here was the thing that, like I said, it was a hypocritical thing what he was showing them that they were dealing with, because the ox wasn't even supposed to be out falling in no holes on the Sabbath. He was not supposed to be working. Your maidservant, your manservant, your ox, your nothing was supposed to be working at all. You understand? When you go into the laws of the Sabbath, for real, you find out nothing was supposed to be put to work. What the hell your ox doing out in the field falling in a hole for? The other part of the law told you if your ox fell, gored somebody before, right? Or if you had left a ditch uncovered and somebody fell in, you had to pay for that. If they injured themselves, you had to pay. If they died, you had to restore life for life, tooth for tooth, eye for eye. Why the hell your ox fall in the hole? Should have been covered. You ain't obeying the law. You see that? You see how the law will kill you? Like every time? Like on everything, you be sitting there like, not saying the law's done away with. Not by any means. Don't get confused. Alright? But if you don't get the understanding, if you don't get the sense made for you, the law will kill you. You'll be sitting there trying to do everything exactly perfect according to the law, and then you'll be breaking something else. Y'all see that? And like I said, I'm just using those as examples. We're trying to make sure we can keep the righteousness of the law, which is, yes, I'm wearing the clothes I'm supposed to wear because the Most High said to. And I have the understanding of why he said to do it. Yes, I'm eating the foods he said not to eat because I have the understanding of why he said not to eat them. You see that? Also because the Most High said to. But am I sitting here, yeah, you guys are using this olive oil, man, but I read an article, said they ain't giving you 100% olive oil. Might be mixed with some Crisco. Y'all brothers off. I can't study with you. Nigga, you looking for an excuse. You looking for an excuse not to be told the rest of the law, the stuff you really tripping on. You see that? And that's the mentality we got to watch. We got to be careful of it. We have this conversation every time we deal with the Sabbath, right? But so far as, going back to the question, is it unlawful to heat up food on the Sabbath? If that's what you got to eat, heat your food up. All right? He don't want you to have spoiled food. He don't want you to have undercooked food. He don't want you to have salmonella because your chicken was sitting in your damn in the seat of your car and you grabbed it out for your lunch break. And you didn't want to throw it in the microwave because it's the Sabbath. Y'all see that? David said it. Can the dead arise and praise you? Can he show wonders in the grave? If I die of salmonella because I didn't want to heat up my damn chicken, I can't praise the Most High the next day. Y'all see that? What's that?
I was going to ask if you wanted the St. John 5 and 16.
Yeah, you can read that.
St. John chapter 5 and verse 16. And therefore did the Jews persecute Jesus and sought to slay him.
See, that's why we got to watch this mentality, because the damn Pharisees, they was ready to murder somebody over the law. They wanted to murder him on the Sabbath day. On the Sabbath day, they was thinking about killing a brother because he healed somebody on the Sabbath day. Because he picked corn on the Sabbath day to eat. Are you out of your damn mind? Wait, you know the punishment for transgressing the Sabbath is to be stoned to death. So you ready to sit here and pick up the damn rocks and beat me to death in the streets because I healed a man on the Sabbath? You gonna break the law to keep the law? Where's your mind at? Y'all see that? Read on.
Because he had done these things on the Sabbath day.
Go ahead.
17. And Yahushua answered them, my Father worketh hither, and I work.
See, he said, my Father worketh hitherto, and I work. If the Most High wasn't working on the Sabbath day, we'd all be dead. The demons would take over, the earth would turn into utter blackness, and all that, right? But he works on that day. So Yahushua worked. He walked around, he touched people, he healed them, he spoke things into existence, he talked to them, he counseled, he did everything, all the works that a priest was supposed to do. Y'all see that?
No.
Alright. Got another one. Okay, she's clearing it up. I was told by Purple Camp, you must wear clothing 100% the material, e.g. a jersey, 90% cotton, and 10% spandex. It must be 100%. Well, let's clear that one up. let's clear that one up. Leviticus 19, verse 19.
Leviticus chapter 19, verse 19. Con, ye shall keep my statutes. Thou shalt not let thy cattle gender a diverse kind.
Sleeping with a horse. We try to make jellyfish, catfish, salmon. Alright? So you can have jellied salmon. You ain't supposed to be doing that. Like Esau does, right? All that GMO, all that genetic splicing and gene splicing and all that. You're not supposed to do that.
Ligers.
You're not, right, ligers, lions and tigers mixed together. Right? You're not supposed to do that. Now, we got to get the understanding just on that point. And we're going to read the rest of it. But go to 1 Corinthians 9, verse 9. So we're getting the understanding through the New Testament what he was talking about in the Old, so the law don't kill us. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 9.
1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 9. Let me get a con when y'all get it, please. Con. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 9. For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the cord.
So he's telling you, in the law, it does say that. You shall not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treads out the corn. That means you're not supposed to put the little bars over the ox's mouth so he can't eat your corn. You understand? Don't be greedy. You got all that corn, that ox ain't going to eat no more than he needs. So while he's pulling that what the ox is doing, he's pulling this big giant stick that's connected to a big giant rock that's grinding all the corn up. Alright? And he's walking around in a circle all damn day. And you gonna put a muzzle over his mouth so he can't eat nothing? That's messed up, man. Now, we think, we all con. Yeah, that is messed up. You starve an animal, you working him to death, right? It's jacked up. Look what the Most High say.
Doth God take care for oxen?
You think he give a crap about that damn ox? That's not what the law was for, stupid. Yes, you was going to take care of the ox, but what it was supposed to put in your brain was to make sure that if somebody worked for you, you paid them. That you don't let things go hungry even down to your oxen, man. So if your brother got need, you feed him. You see that? If you was going to be kind enough by commandment of the law to take care of an ox, then you would take care of your brother. So now when we get back, and it said you shall not do what?
Oh, thou shalt not let thy cattle gender with a diverse kind.
Do you really think he cared about cattle at this point? He just went from thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart, thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor, thou shalt not suffer sin upon him, you should not bear any grudge toward the daughter of your people, right? We just read that in 19 verse 17, 19 verse 18. Now we're at 19 verse 19, you start talking about cows? Clearly, he's talking about the brothers, the sisters that you live with. You ain't supposed to be mixing with diverse kinds, man. That's the understanding I'm supposed to pull from that. I'm not going and try to have sex with sheep and horses and dogs and everything like that. Why? Because I don't even let my cows do that, B. Y'all see that? That's where my mind's at. My mind's on the law. If I don't let my cows do it, you definitely ain't going to see me on YouTube getting topped off by no catfish. You see that? You ain't gonna see me in the middle of the streets in Puerto Rico with my penis inside a donkey. Why? I don't even let my donkey do that. I don't even let my cows do that. You see that? Most I don't give a damn about the animal. He's trying to fix your mind state. The law is holy and just and good. It's to fix you, fix your spirit. The cows ain't going. He ain't got to tell the cow, hey cow, don't have sex with that horse. Hey, stop it. That cow. You ain't never seen that before. You didn't see that till Esau messed up their life, messed up their genetics, and now dogs is having sex with other dogs and jumping on pigs and doing all that. Y'all see that?
Come on.
But in the beginning, you didn't have to write a law for a cow to not have sex with a different kind of cow. They already know. You understand?
Right.
You still don't see it in nature today, man. You don't see, old MacDonald had a farm and one of his cows got away and banged his wife. That ain't how the song go. Because you don't have to write a law to the cow to tell them not to gender with diverse kind. Why he have to write that law to us? So we would get the understanding not to mix things, not to mingle things, not to mingle spiritual things. Y'all see that?
Come on.
Well, let's see. Read on. Now we know he doesn't care about the cow. That's not what he's talking about. What else are we finding out?
Thou shalt not sow thy field with mingled seed.
Now, you're not going to sow your field with mingled seed. Right? Why? Seed and throw it in a tobacco field. I'm not going to get corn growing out of there because tobacco sucks all the nutrients out of the ground.
God.
Literally sucks out every nutrient out of the soil. Turns it into dead soil. Why am I going to try to plant corn in there? That's only made for tobacco. Why am I going to try to take my seeds and take my grape seeds and throw them on a field full of weeds? The weeds going to grow and the grapes going to die. Well, if I have that mind state, why am I going to be talking about I'm with the purple camp, but then I'm watching the white camp's videos, and then I'm going to HPK? Why am I mixing marks which your fathers have said to you? You understand? You be up under that law. You be up under that rule. All right? But what I'm not doing, I'm going to pick a side. BNIUIC. If I'm mingled with a different seed, right? Read on. My damn clothing. You see that? What you mean let a man sleep with me? You want him to put his... Y'all see that? The mind state is clean. It has a standard to it. All right? Of why we're reading. The whole purpose of you wearing linen is to let the sweat come off your body. It lifts the sweat and puts it into the air. It lets your body breathe. It's got a warp and a woof, which means it got, just like the tip of this microphone, that got a warp and a woof. In between there, you see all these little black holes, right? Y'all see that? Though that lets the sound get into the microphone. You understand? Okay, so if I'm wearing clothes that don't have them holes in it, guess what? The sweat can't come out. What is sweat?
Unclean.
Why?
Because it's toxins coming out of your body.
There you go. Because it's toxins coming out of your body. So if I got toxins all trapped up in my shirt, in my pants, in dark conditions, in a warm, moist area, what's going to happen? Mildew, germs, bacteria, disease, sores, all that. Heat rash, all that. Y'all see that? For a woman, it's even worse. You doing all that, you putting that over a open wound down there, it can't breathe. Yeast infections, worse bodily infections, right? You getting all these problems in there. So this was the purpose. It was 1, for the clothing's sake, 2, for your sanitary, for your sanitation, and 3, so that your mind will be geared toward not mixing doctrines. You understand? So that way you wouldn't be, like the scriptures say, let us not be tossed about by every wind of doctrine. And that's a lot of Israel's problem, man. This is what we weep and mourn for as leaders now, because we didn't have this problem. When we was coming in, man, you had one camp in your city, and you went to that camp, you was so glad they taught you was a Hebrew Israelite, that's who I'm following. Now you get in, and one camp's telling you a Hebrew Israelite, and the other one's telling you you're not. Like, but what? Okay, well then, what makes you a Hebrew Israelite? Then I'm not you. What? The hell is that? What scripture is that? And then they gonna show you the exact same scripture that the other camp showed you, that showed you was an Israelite. What you gonna get? Confusion. Y'all see that? Y'all got it bad right now. That's why Christ said, he said, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith in the earth? Because y'all living in a generation of confusion, man. I feel sorry for y'all, man. Y'all come up, it's like, I don't know if he's right. Let me go research that on YouTube. By the camp that's against him. Well, if you go to a man's enemies and ask him about the man and what the man is talking about, what do you think the enemies are going to say? Right, they're going to say the direct opposite of what that man said. The man could be like, the sky is blue today. You go to that camp, the sky is white, nigga. You just looking at it through a prismatic, holographic image of the white man gave you. I don't know what to do. He said it's white, but I'm seeing blue, and he said it's actually blue, and I'm seeing blue. Well, who you gonna believe? Look at the damn sky. Which one's right? Look for yourself. That's what we tell all of y'all, right? Here's the Bible. If I said it and I was wrong, find it. If I said it and I was right, please find it. Please go make sure that it was true. Understood? Hopefully they got that online. But yeah, this is the purpose, the understanding of the law. All right? So, yeah, they say that. Yeah, the law does say that. But what was the point? All right? Any other questions? Don't stop now, man. It's 9:15. We done burned through the whole class. What's that?
I was wondering, because I know we were talking about the law and how, specific the Most High is on things, and I was reading in 2 Samuel because I was thinking of Uzzah. Is that how you pronounce his name? Why did the Most High kill him just for trying not to let the ark fall over?
Oh yeah, we had addressed this. I don't know if you had made it though, but let's do this. This is gonna give you a little understanding of why the Most High killed Uzzah, because you're gonna find out his mind state. But the way we're gonna find out Uzzah's mind state is we're gonna find out what the ark was made of. Let's see. So I want you to go to Exodus chapter 25. We're going to start at verse 10. I want you to look up shittim wood in the Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary.
Exodus chapter 25 and verse 10.
And then somebody else, does anybody else have a Zondervan Pictorial Bible Dictionary? Go to the part that says weights and measures. You're going to go to the part that says weights and measures. Go ahead and read that.
Exodus chapter 25 and verse 10. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood.
So the question for y'all online, if you missed it, is why did Uzzah get put to death for trying to reach out and hold up the Ark of the Covenant when it was about to fall over, when it seemed like it was going to fall over? And you remember what scripture that story was? Was that 1 Samuel?
2 Samuel 6, verse 1.
Yeah, 2 Samuel 6 and 1. Okay, so it starts in 2 Samuel chapter 6, and you find out that Uzzah was walking he was walking with the priests and everything, and the Ark of the Covenant, he saw it kind of tilt, and he went out to grab to stay, and the Most High out on him and Uzzah, which means a breach. But let's understand Uzzah's mind.
Exodus chapter 20.
What you got? You might have to go under plants.
Sure.
Oh, you. So first of all, we got to know that the base of the ark, the basic part of the ark, right, was made out of shittim wood. Now let's see what this is the same thing that Noah's ark was made out of. So we got to understand that this stuff is made to hold big animals, great and small. Where you at?
Shittim. This is page 789. All right. The name of Shittim, the name of the wood, which comes from the acacia tree, mentioned 26 times in connection with the tabernacle.
The what tree? Acacia.
Acacia tree.
Okay.
Mentioned 26 times in connection with the tabernacle and the furniture. Exodus 25 through 38. The wood is hard, fine-grained, yellowish brown in the color, but turns nearly black with age.
Right. So the wood is fine-grained. You understand? That means it's very dense. It's a very hard wood. It's very dense. It's like oak. It's like cedar. It's like those ones where the cops use the battering ram and they still can't get in the door. Huh?
I was thinking of teak, but I don't know
What's that?
teak.
Oh, teak.
But I don't know if that's what.
I'd have to look on that one. But this is one of your harder woods. It's one of the hardest woods you're going to deal with. It's very dense, very solid. All right. Now the Ark of the Covenant was made out of shittim wood. Was that it?
Lie. This is a gum called
Acacia gum.
Acacia gum or
Gum Arabic.
Gum Arabic.
So you find that gum Arabic in certain ingredients in some of your foods and some of your chewing gum and stuff like that, right? But this wood is very, very dense, very solid, very heavy. Okay? So now let's go back to Exodus. And we find out the ark was made out of shittim wood. Go ahead.
2 cubits, and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit, and a half the breadth thereof.
So 2 cubits was going to be the length. So you take the Mesopotamian cubit, which we would have invented, ruling Mesopotamian, all right? And you basically, anytime you see the word cubit, you just multiply it times 2 and you get how many feet it was. So the ark was 2 cubits and a half shall be the length. All right, so it was 5 cubits long. All right, 5 feet wide, long. All right, so we take from this part of the table to about where the scroll is right here, 5 feet. That's how long it was, made out of shittim wood. This heavy, dense wood, right? Continue.
And a cubit and a half the height thereof.
And it was 3 feet tall. So about as high as this table is. All right? So you're dealing from the scroll to the end of the table and about as high as the table, maybe even a little higher. Go ahead.
And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold. Within and without shalt thou overlay it.
See, wait. What did they put on this really, really dense wood?
Pure gold.
Pure gold. All right? Now, if you ever watched a movie called The Italian Job, if you ever watched any of these movies where they're trying to do a gold heist, gold isn't just something you just grab it and you run. No, gold is heavy as hell. All right? They overlaid 5 feet by 3 feet in pure gold. All right? Now watch this. Read on.
And thou shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about.
Now on top of this solid base of wood and gold, you're going to put a crown on top of that. All right? Basically the lid of the ark. Go ahead.
And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it.
And then you was going to put rings of gold on that lid. Go ahead.
And put them in the 4 corners thereof.
Okay.
And 2 rings shall be in the one side of it.
Right, so you're going to put one in each corner and one on each side. Like a pallbearer, they got it's going to have 6 rings, basically. All right? And you go ahead.
And 2 rings in the other side of it.
And there's going to be 2 rings on the other side of it, right? So on this side and this side. So now you got 8 rings of gold, pure gold. All right? It's getting a little heavier now, right? Go ahead.
And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood.
Now you're going to make staves, big giant staffs of shittim wood, right? Like this. Of shittim wood, the same dense, heavy wood. Go ahead.
And overlay them with gold.
And you're going to pour gold all over that. Now it's getting a little heavier. Go ahead.
And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark.
Okay, so he wants these poles to go through the rings on each side of the ark so nobody can touch it. So it will be able to be carried. You see that? Read.
That the ark may be borne with them.
All right. So this was not even the lid we're talking about. I'm sorry. The crown was just the part that was on the outside of the ark, so that the rings could go into. All right. Read on.
The staves shall be in the rings of the ark. They shall not be taken from it.
Okay.
And thou shalt put it into the ark of the testimony which I shall give thee.
So after you made this big giant box out of heavy wood and overlaid it in pure gold, you was going to throw these 2 big giant stone tablets that I wrote all the commandments on into that. Go ahead.
And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold.
Now on top of that ark, you're going to put a whole seat. You're going to make a whole, basically a lid on top of this ark. Now we're getting to the lid, right? Read.
2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof.
So on top of this 5 foot wide, 3 feet tall ark, on top of that, you're going to put another 5 feet wide lid. Go ahead.
And a cubit and a half the breadth thereof.
All right, it's going to be 3 feet wide. All right. So I got it wrong. It's length and width so far that we're dealing with. Okay. So the length and the width was 5 foot by 3 feet. The lid now that's going on top of it is going to be 5 feet by 3 feet because that would make sense. It's a lid. Go ahead.
And thou shalt make 2 cherubims.
And then on top of that, you're going to do what?
Make 2 cherubims.
You're going to make 2 big angels. Go ahead.
Of gold.
Of solid gold. You're going to make 2 statues of 2 angels made out of solid gold. Not shittim wood with gold plating. Right. Solid gold statues. Read.
Of beaten works. Work shalt thou make them.
And it was going to be a beaten work, which means they was going to hammer that in so it was more dense. All right, when you're hammering that metal, you're getting all the oxygen out of it. So you're taking out all the lightness of it. You're making it super heavy. You understand? So it was going to be a beaten work. Go ahead.
And the 2 ends of the mercy seat.
And they was going to be on each end of this 5 foot long mercy seat. Go ahead.
And make 1 cherub on the one end.
1 cherub, 1 angel was going to be on one end. Go ahead.
And the other cherub on the other end.
And the other angel was on the other end. Go ahead. 5 feet away.
Even of the mercy seat.
Go ahead.
Shall ye make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof.
Okay.
And the cherubims shall stretch forth their wings.
Now these cherubim got wings. So these are angels we're dealing with, right? They have wings that are going to do what?
Stretch forth their wings on high.
Uh-huh.
Covering the mercy seat with their wings.
Those wings is going to go all the way across the length of the mercy seat. Read.
And their faces shall look one to another.
They looking at each other with their wings stretched out. Go ahead.
Toward the mercy seat
uh-huh.
shall the faces of the cherubim be.
Go ahead.
And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark.
So this is the lid to the ark. Go ahead.
And in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee.
Mm-hmm.
And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat,
right,
from between the two cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony.
Right. Okay.
Of all. Oh,
that's it?
No,
okay,
no.
so, huh? Oh, go ahead.
Of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel.
All right. So we found out the dimensions of this box. You're basically holding this coffin made of this dense wood overlaid with pure gold, and then the lid of the coffin is this dense wood overlaid in pure gold. And then you got these staves that are to hold the box with the lid on it, and they're heavy wood, and they're overlaid in pure gold, right? And on top of all that, you got these two big giant angels stretching their wings out across it. All right? Now you got to think, it ain't two little midget angels like they always put in these little pictures. It ain't two little statues of some angels touching their wings 5 feet all the way across. It would have broke off. The physics don't work. They'd have to be the size of at least a man with them big wings to 5 feet going all the way across the ark. Y'all see that? So they had to be probably the size of men. Made out of pure gold. So you got Uzzah. They were traveling along, right? And I see the thing start shaking. And I'm going to reach out one hand and hold up all this weight with one hand. He put the staves in there because it took like 6 priests to carry the Ark of the Covenant. And we was big back then. I mean, you talk about priests that was killing oxen all day. It was young. It was big brothers. But your guy Uzzah thought he was going to hold up the whole deal with one hand when they had to be carried by oxen. That's pride, man. And then the Most High tells him later on, he says, don't have nobody touch the ark. That's why I put the staves in it. Only the priests are supposed to touch the ark. Only the priests are supposed to clean it. Only the priests are supposed to be around it. And you just the guy that's helping drive the oxen, and you think you're going to touch the ark? Most High get that. You're doing the same thing Moses did. Moses struck the rock. Told all Israel that, hey, men do this, not the Most High. What did Uzzah do when he reached out his hand to try to grab that ark? Men got to save what the Most High has made. Most High won't do it. Y'all see that? Like, really, bro? He sits on the seat. You think he was going to fall over?
Sabbath class, we went over it a couple of times.
Yeah.
When we, every time we read this and we go over this, I think about how often I try to control, you know, that the Most High is in control of.
There you go.
You know, and he's the one who, of course, but it's crazy because we say that all the time. We know the Most High controls everything, you know? And
yeah.
I mean, I do believe that he does, but I do still find myself trying to catch the ark, you know, and, you know, putting my hand out there and trying to control the situation and doing it on my own and, you know.
Right, right.
It's that.
Everybody's guilty of that one.
Yeah.
Because you know why? You can't see the Most High. You can't experience him with your 5 senses. Right? You got to use your 6 and your 7 senses to experience the Most High. With our 5 senses, which we've been trained to use, see, touch, taste, smell, hear, right? You don't get the Most High. You understand? He's here. He's in that 6th sense, in that 7th sense. You understand? I'm saying that because in Ecclesiasticus or Wisdom of Solomon tells you got 7 senses, not just 5.
Want me to read it?
You got it?
Yeah.
There you go. Let me know when you get it. But we got to understand that you're going to experience the Most High a different way than what you were trained to experience Him as.
I got it.
You see that? And since we're so accustomed to using our 5 senses, we don't get the Most High. We don't understand how could He possibly be this. How could something I can't see, taste, touch, hear, or smell do anything? You see that? And then of course you got the doubters, the ones that help throw the doubt in your head, the meme writers, the atheists, the other camps, the whatever, right? Most I ain't gonna do nothing for you. You gotta do for yourself. The Hotep niggas, and you are your own God, and the black woman is God, and da 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 da. And you like, well, damn. Well, they say the black woman is God. I can see, taste, touch, and smell, and all that hurt, right? And they saying this person's God over here, and I can see them and I can feel them. So I can experience that. I'm more prone to follow those, right? Because you ain't been trained to use wisdom as your 7th sense. You ain't been trained to use thought as your 6th sense. You see that? You haven't exercised yourself in learning spiritual things and judging things spiritually. So now when it comes down to things that I do have to take care of by touch, taste, smell, hearing, speaking, whatever, right? Well, that's what I know how to deal with. And if I don't know how to deal with it, must not nobody know how to deal with it. See how prideful that sounds? Read that.
Verse 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 17, verse 5. They received the use of the 5 operations of the Lord. And in the 6th place, He imparted them understanding.
There you go. See, you got more than 5 senses. You have 6. You have understanding. Understanding will tell you, yeah, the Most High got this. Understanding of the scriptures, understanding of your past, understanding of what has brought you through all the crap you've been through to this point will tell you, oh, I got this. The Most High is going to take care of this for me. I'll live. I'll be okay. We'll be okay. You see that? But my 5 senses are all I've been trained in. I ain't been trained in the 6th. I haven't been trained in understanding. That's why y'all come here. You see that? That's why the Most High put you through your trials and your tribulations so that you can exercise your 6th sense. Not the I see dead people 6th sense. All right? The understanding. Read on.
And in the 7th, speech and interpretation.
So then you got another sense, which is being able to speak and interpret what's going on. Y'all see that? But Esau only told you have 5 senses. Why? To cut off your understanding. To cut off your ability to speak and interpret the things of the Bible. And speak things into your life, into existence. If touch is a sense, and I can reach out and touch this bottle, push it over, right? Is not all the other senses just as powerful? So that means understanding is a powerful sense. They don't want you to have that. You see that? Speech. Why did David say that in Psalms 137? He said, if I forget Jerusalem, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth, right? Okay, well, why is that? Why was that part cut off? Because that's your 7th sense. Your ability to speak things into existence. When we pray, you think we're praying for nothing? We're praying to speak things into existence because it's just as powerful a sense as being able to touch this bottle. As being able to punch somebody. You see that? My brothers blame me for that all the time. Well, I only lost my job because you put that out there. Well, shoot, at least you believe in the 7th sense. I didn't do it. The Most High did it to you, but you believe in that 7th sense for sure. Because you know that if I speak something, it can come to pass. Y'all see that? Well, that means I got to be more exercised in those last 2 senses. My understanding got to come up. My ability to speak things into existence got to come up. So what do I got to do? I got to exercise in those. Right? What's that?
Okay, so back to Uzzah.
Hold on.
First of all, where did it say that he wasn't supposed to touch it? Because I missed the reading or whatever.
Right.
Because in my little pea brain, I'm like, he was just trying to help out, you know, and suppose I do something to try to help out, and that's the last thing I ever do, like, you know, the most I kill him, you know?
Right.
I mean, and then to think of it as, you know, the priests weren't the only ones building the ark, right? Or were they? Somebody else was constructing this ark, so they were touching it.
Right.
How come he didn't kill all of them? I mean, probably the same reason he killed Noah when he was building his ark, but I'm just saying, you know, if only the priests were supposed to handle it, clean it, everything else was that just to be after it was built, you know?
After all the things in the temple were made, I'm trying to find that part exactly for you, but after just about everything in the temple was made, they went and sanctified it by blood. They did the sprinkling, they tossed blood on everything, wiped everything down with certain oils and things like that. Everything was sanctified, and then it was only consecrated to be touched by the priest. Same as the temple. The temple had workers, right? But once all them stones, even when they were making the temple, when the stones were being hewed, they didn't hew them on the site of the temple. They cut the stones perfectly somewhere else, and then they brought them to the site and just fit them into place. Because there wasn't supposed to be no, oh, I smashed my finger, there's blood on the temple, there's sweat here, there's that. No, everything just here, put it into place. You see that? So that's how holy, especially the Ark of the Covenant was, where the Most High's glory was going to sit. Who's the Most High's glory?
Christ.
That guy. I don't know if y'all knew that, but that's what the scriptures say. He's the express image and the glory of the Most High. Right?
Come on.
So who was sitting on the mercy seat? Yahushua. Funny, yeah. But yeah, this is where we're getting the understanding is of everything there was supposed to be consecrated. It was supposed to be holy. And it's in there when you keep reading Exodus. It was after they had finished all these things. That all those things were consecrated, and there were certain things only whenever the tabernacle moved, only the Levite priests could touch even the stuff that was holding up the tabernacle. They bundled all that up, they did all that, and they marched it out. Same with the Ark of the Covenant. They usually transported it. Now, if they put it on an ox cart or if they put it on whatever, nobody was to touch it. All right.
Why did you say that David even, I guess he was kind of, you know, thinking about the era, you know, of that happening. You know, I just read it.
Right.
But if he knew, wouldn't he have known, you know, nobody's supposed to touch it and all this? And so why was he kind of confounded by, you know, Uzzah's error?
Because he didn't know Uzzah's mind. That's what the scriptures say. What man knoweth the spirit of a man, save the spirit of that man which is in him. All right, if one of y'all can find that. See, he didn't know Uzzah's mind. The Most High knew Uzzah's mind. That's why I said we got to analyze the actions of these people. The guy carrying the sticks, Most High said stolen. For what? Lot's wife turning around to look at the city that was about to be burnt up. When the angels told her, don't nobody look back on this. What is she looking at? Your whole family's ahead of you. What is so important back there? Your lover's back there. What do you have? What could you possibly have back there when your husband's right there? Your daughters are right there. Their husbands are right there. Right? What could you possibly have so important that you got to look back? You see that? That's why when you read it in Josephus, it tells you about Lot's wife. It says she was too nicely inquisitive. She was really trying. What happened? You know, it wasn't just a glance. She was hoping somebody made it. You understand? So who were you hoping made it when your whole family is the only ones that was righteous, the only ones that angels came to get, and they already outside the city? Who are you hoping made it? You see that? And we deal with a place called Sodom and Gomorrah, where we get the word sodomy from, where we deal with a lot of homosexuality and all that stems from that, right? So who am I looking back for? My girlfriend? my boyfriend number 2? What are you looking back for? You see that? We got to analyze the mindsets of these people. So when we look at Uzzah, well, shoot, David had 30 mighty men. All of them knew not to go grab that ark. None of the priests reached out to grab that ark. Why the hell are you grabbing the ark? What got into your mind that you're going to grab this solid gold, shittim wood ark just because it looked like it was rocking a little bit? You see that? Huh? It's a pride thing. It's a pride thing. Even if it was just a reflex. What the hell kind of reflex you got? That's like when you get something hot, you pull something hot out the stove on accident, you stick it in your mouth real fast, off the plate, right? It burn your finger. It's burning your fingers, so you throw it in your mouth. What? You like think about it after? Why the hell did I do that? Right? You sit over there looking like Planet of the Apes.
Blowing it in your mouth.
Yeah. Right? Why did you put it in your mouth if it burned your fingers? Right? What reflex is in you that you're going to try to grab this giant, however many tons statues, plural, on top of a box made out of gold and wood?
So you didn't do right, you didn't do it. So.
Yeah, he knew that nobody was supposed to touch the ark. That's why I said you don't see that any of the priests came and tried to grab it. There were staves in there. Those were the handles. If you're going to grab it by anything, that's what you grab it by. The Most High meant for you not to touch it. You understand? Now there's more deeper into that and everything like that. You know, you can consider that, okay, there's a spirit that comes down and it inhabits that material. You understand? Christ came down and sat on the mercy seat. He sat between the cherubims. Who am I trying to reach out and touch? You see that? Who am I trying to catch from falling? That's not your job. You can't catch Christ. Yeah, he holds you up. You're dealing with the same. What you're dealing with when you're dealing with the Ark of the Covenant is the same rules they was dealing with when Moses went up that mountain. Don't nobody even touch the base of the mountain. If anybody even comes near the base, they're gonna be put to death. You see that? You find that scripture? Not that. The one I called out.
Which one? I'm looking for. I was looking for what she was saying.
Nobody found that? I forgot it. But
I found where it said that they sanctified the ark, but I can't find the other one.
No. It was one I called out, man. What man knoweth the mind of a man, save the spirit of the man that is in him. But yeah, you know what? That one kind of, it bothered me for a long time. You know, as I would read over it, I'm like, why did he do that? Why did he do that to Uzzah? But you got to consider all the circumstances, man. You got the entire Levitical priesthood there. You got all these brothers there that none of them got it in their brain to try to catch the ark. What's your problem? Who do you think you are? You see that? It's a pride issue. Now, on top of that, if the events occurred as fast as it looks like, it stumbles, you reach out like that, David might not even see that. All he might have seen was the Most High's reaction. What the hell you just kill him for? Right?
Yeah, it's the first time I've ever had it explained to me.
Ecclesiastes
I'm
3 and 21.
killing people that don't even notice.
Ecclesiastes 3 and 21.
Right. You see that it takes an explanation because through thy precepts I'm going to get understanding. I'm going to read about the dimensions of the ark. I'm going to see what kind of fool is going to try to carry this by himself when the Most High clearly made it to be carried by at least 6 people. Or 4 people. You see that? What you got?
Ecclesiastes 3 and 21.
Read that.
Who knoweth the spirit of a man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth?
Nah, that's not it.
1 Corinthians 2 and 11.
Read that.
Things of a man. Of man which is in. So the thing.
That's why he had to go back and consider the things that were going on. That's why he had to go through the precepts and get understanding on certain things. What do you read when David inquired of the Lord about that? Does it say, in 2 Samuel 6, right?
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and verse 11.
Yeah, it don't even really say
about touching it.
Because he was wondering how it was going to make it to him. How was the ark going to make it? How it was going to come to him?
Right.
Oh, I just saw it last night.
Yeah, it don't say what answer he got. But it does tell you that he was in error, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and God smote him there for his error. And there he died by the ark of the Most High.
Because it's like Uzzah just sprang up out of nowhere. So I mean, it doesn't, I don't see any background on him, why he was even there.
They were the cart drivers when you read verse 3.
Oh, okay.
But he was
So they set the ark of the Most High upon a new cart and brought it out of the house of Abinadab, and that was in Gibeah. And Uzzah and Ahio, the sons of Abinadab, drave the new cart. All right. So they were the sons of Abinadab. If they were in Gibeah, that means they were from the same place Saul was from. They were Benjamites. Saul of Gibeah. All right.
Yeah, he was Benjamin.
These were Benjamites. These were not Levites. They were just driving the cart that the Ark of the Covenant was on. You the driver. You don't get to touch that. There you go.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, when you go to Numbers 4 and 15, it tells you who was supposed to touch
Oh, you found that?
Yeah, it's Numbers 4 and 15. It was only the Levites that were able to touch any of the vessels that were coming from the sanctuary. So,
yeah, read that.
This is Numbers chapter 4 and verse 15. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of the covering the sanctuary and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it.
So you look up the Kohathites,
which were Levites.
Right. They were a family of the Levite priesthood. Go ahead.
Right. Shall come to bear it, but they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die.
even the Levite priests were not allowed to directly touch the holy things. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
So read that again, just so I'm clear. Just so it's clear. Read it again.
Numbers 4 and 15. And when Aaron and his sons have made an end of the covering the sanctuary, and all the vessels of the sanctuary, as the camp is set forward, after that the sons of Kohath shall come to bear it. But they shall not touch any holy thing, lest they die.
There you go. As simple as that, right? If the priest was commanded, you don't touch this, unless you want me to kill you. What the hell was Benjamin doing? You ain't a Levite, you an ox driver. And they can't even touch it. You see that? Was that it?
It says, these things are the burden of the sons of Kohath in the tabernacle of the congregation.
Right?
That's it.
That's it on that?
Yeah.
Right, so that was for that was for the priests only to even be around that. They weren't to touch it. That's what the staves were for. The handles were for being able to pick it up and move it around. But it wasn't to be directly touched by anybody unless they was cleaning it, and then they was using a certain oil to clean it down and to get the blood off and things like that. All right, and then that was a whole other family of the priesthood that was allowed to do that. The Kohathites didn't get to do that. You see that? But now you got this guy from Gibeah, the ox driver. He gonna grab the whole ark with one hand.
The examples of the Bible. Some people, they may have done something wrong and went on to live for years and years and died and went on, and then other people just got dropped dead on the spot, But were they just basically an example to don't nobody else try this? I mean, it seemed like they got that one shot and got killed.
Yeah, and again, because he was setting an example. You understand? Just like he did with the guy carrying the sticks. He was setting the example. Listen, don't do this because it does carry death. It was supposed to register spiritually. The wages of sin is death. That's what we understand now, right? But it didn't register that way. He had to deal with Israel, newborn Israel, on a carnal level. So I have to directly kill you. I have to directly kill somebody so that you guys understand to shut up, stop murmuring, stop complaining, don't touch this, don't do that, right? Now, was he being unfair? Did it not come with a warning?
What's that? Touching the ark?
Touching anything, eating certain foods. Was there not a whole list of things that were warnings and said, least you die? Right, so is the Most High cruel because you touched something he said don't touch and you died when he said if you touch that you're going to die?
I guess sometimes, I didn't learn precept by precept, so all I saw was poor Uzzah,
Right.
And so I didn't see all the background on this, the dimensions and building of the ark, Uzzah's minor state, I saw none of that. All I remember then was, I killed him right there.
Right. And again, you're in the same mind as David because that's what he saw. You understand? Right. I just see this dude get struck down dead by the Ark of the Covenant. And I'm like, well, why you kill him? You see that? Now, obviously, if it was nobody else's mind to grab the ark, if it was everyone else's mind around that to just let it fall over, bro, then David wasn't even registering that, hey, some nigga tried to touch the ark. No, because all of them around knew, don't touch that. That's why it was on an ox instead of being carried.
But that's what I was going to say. It was meant to be carried.
Right. It
So
was
why
meant to
did
be carried by the staves, though.
Right. So why did they even put it on the ox?
Because they were taking it from one city to another.
I thought it was meant to be carried like that, though, from one city to another.
No, that's when they were moving it around the temple, around the tabernacle.
Okay.
They pick it up, move it somewhere, right?
Okay.
Or when they picked up from camp to camp, right? When the cloud stopped.
Okay.
You ain't just gonna have them walking cities, countries,
hey,
with this big giant gold thing. Nah, they was carrying it from camp to camp. But when they came down to, we carrying it from one city to another one.
Right.
Oh, you won't put that on an ox.
Right. Okay.
All right. But even then, it wasn't touching nothing. It was on a cart.
It was on a cart.
You see that? So nobody was to touch that. Now you touching something imbued with the whole spirit of the Most High on there. You think you gonna contain that? So I said it was more like it was probably more like touching an electrical conduit. He probably just shorted out. All right, but you know, like I said, I wasn't there, but it said he died right there by the ark.
Kind of put in the context of my mindset, you know, before as a woman, and you see something happening, and immediately want to jump to it, you know,
Right.
rather than getting counseling from, you know, a priest or an elder or you know, whatever, or jackass if it takes that, you know, but okay, well, I'll fix it, I'll solve it, I can do it, I can prop it up.
Right,
you
right.
know. And it's like, you know, why didn't the Most High just strike me, you know, sometimes for, well, only the took once, but I mean, why didn't he strike me for that mind state that I had?
Right. And see, that's grace.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Christ had to come. Stuff like that is why Yahweh Shai had to come and be like, okay, don't break forth on them and kill them now. You see that? I died for them. If they're sorry, if they're repentant, if they're trying to not do those things anymore, don't break forth on them and kill them no more like that. You see that? That's why when you read the scriptures and you look at the world and you say, whoever perished being innocent, and I look at the news and I see some innocent man getting choked out by the cops, I'm processing it through that. Whoever perished being innocent. Right. That's the Most High breaking out still on the wicked that aren't covered by Yahweh Shai. You understand? So he's still doing that. He's still, I am God, I change not. You see that? He's still doing the same things. But now some of us have grace. We're covered to where the Most High is not directly hitting us like that. He sends you prophets. He sends you teachers. He says he has them correct your ways. He puts you through situations, puts you through punishments, trials, right? And that is supposed to correct your path. And then after all that, you still don't want to hear? Well, now you get left out to the elements.
You know, she's like, I'm not going to go to this dinner, I'm not going to attend, you know.
Right.
Next thing she's waking up in a tower somewhere forever, you know. And I'm like, okay.
And that was the nations.
Yeah.
You know, that they knew how to deal like that.
Right, you know, but still, as an example, you know, we
Yeah.
had to make mind of nations before we, you know, knew who we were as Israelites. We had to mind of the nations.
Yeah, that's where they got it from.
So, I mean,
They got it from us. From learning that, like I said, you go read the Sun Tzu, The Art of War, right? He takes the 500 concubines of that emperor, and he gets them all lined up, and he's trying to get them all lined up in rows and do what the army's supposed to do. And he's telling them turn right, and they all sitting there giggling, and they think it's funny. And he comes down and he cuts the main one's head off right in front of everybody. And he said turn right, and everybody turn right. Why? Because they knew to take the head, make them an example, and then the rest will fall in line. That's from the Most High. That's how he do things. You see that? Now, what Yahweh Shai's example should have been to all of us, what should have registered to us is, damn, he'll even kill his own son. For our sins, he'll kill his own son.
who was doing his will.
Right. So he's not playing. Where did they get this loving God that loves every damn thing. Where did they get that from? When this God, the God we're reading about, killed his own son for our sakes, to set an example for us, to show us, listen, I'm still that same God, I'm not playing. Where did they get that? They get that from the movies, man. That's movie Jesus. That's movie God, right? That's pedophile God that consents to all the stuff they doing in the church. You see that? They picked a God that was like them instead of them trying to be like God. It's backwards, man. It's 10 o'clock though, right on the dot. So if y'all got any other questions, more doubts on that, then we'll deal with that. Well, we won't deal with it Wednesday, but we'll feed some more scriptures through Wednesday, or you got it Wednesday, right? Yeah. All right, so we'll still be brothers will still be here teaching Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. All right. So for y'all that joined us online, we appreciate y'all questions. Keep them coming. All right, and with that, we're gonna say shalom.
Shalom.